Welcome to the LunaHolistic podcast. I'm your host, Geneva Robbins, and every month on this podcast, we'll talk about Reiki, as well as answering your questions on all things spiritual. We are gratefully located in Calgary in Treaty 7 territory. Thank you all and welcome to the show. Hello and welcome to the LunaHolistic podcast. My name is Geneva Robbins, and today I have Melissa Jaswell with me. Say hi, Melissa.
Hi.
Good to have you here. Today we are going to talk about the elephant in the room, which is that Reiki is unbelievable. And we'll go through some of the work we've been doing, and even after all this time, there's still a little part that doubts. So if you've been on a spiritual path and you're like, how can I doubt what I have so much evidence for? You're in good company. It's all good. We'll talk about all of that. So thank you for being here, Melissa.
Thanks for having me. I've been excited.
Yeah, it's so good. So yeah, we'll do a meditation. If you're listening, you can gently close your eyes. And if you are in a spot you can't close your eyes, then please don't. And we'll just do a little connecting to gratitude. So you can close your eyes and take a few breaths into the center of your chest, in the core of your belly, noticing the direction of gravity and gently aligning your body to sit with ease in the direction of gravity. Just letting everything rest, letting gravity do the work, and letting anything heavy, any emotions or busyness of the day, just gently flow into the earth with a few big sighs of relief, letting it all soften, noticing that enormous support below you, and take a big sigh of relief into the life force of the earth, letting the energy stretch out in all directions and noticing all of that wisdom flowing back, sending gratitude into the planet, into the life that surrounds you, the plants and trees, the water and birds, the air, all of the water creatures and beings that live on the land, just sending gratitude out in all directions and receiving a wave of gratitude back. Then noticing a beam of light coming from an infinite source, flowing down to touch the top of your crown, melting in through the body, illuminating all of the energy centers, the chakras, right down to your root at the base of your spine, and illuminating your whole body, flowing down your arms and legs, shining out through your hands and feet, and flowing through your aura, your energetic space around your body. And just take a big sigh of relief as the energy clears and illuminates. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yay.
That was lovely.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I love it. That's basically Reiki for those of you listening. We connect and ground. We get a solid connection to the earth, just with our imagination, just, it's almost like for me, I feel like grounding is like I'm no longer holding back my energy from the earth. And I'm allowing the earth to balance me instead of trying to do everything on my own. I'm allowing, the one that's carrying me through the space to do the work of carrying me and not trying to hold everything in and hold everything tight. And then the energy from the universe just pouring through the crown and flowing through and out through hands and feet. And of course, there's more nuance to Reiki than just simply that visual. There's Reiki symbols and there's a structure to sessions and techniques and tools that you get taught in Reiki classes that provide a really safe, grounded, energetic structure for supporting other people with their sessions so that your energy stays your energy and their energy stays theirs. And anything they release doesn't stick to you, and anything that's yours doesn't stick to them. It just clears into the infinite. And so at the end of each session, you just feel amazing. Even as a practitioner, even doing sessions with people who have massive traumas of multiple varieties, physical, emotional, spiritual pain, you don't take any of it on because you're just standing in the light. So you're just connected to the answer to that, of what the universe is flowing through to support the person. So it ends up being pretty magical. But Melissa, I know you were talking about this recently about, do you doubt your practice sometimes because it's invisible, right? Like a lot of it is happening on an energetic level, it's a visualization and a connection, and it's all internal. So most of the time you can't look at a person and say, oh yeah, that's Reiki, unless you have supersonic vision and you can see these things. Some people can see it, but how has that trip been for you of feeling like at times Reiki's unbelievable?
Yeah. Well, first, I just wanted to say that guided meditation was so beautiful. And the way that you explained connecting into the earth that supports you and then opening up to the universe. And that's like the base of Reiki and what we do to make ourselves a conduit for that energy to flow through so that we can give a clear, beautiful session
Mhm.
among all the other things that you mentioned.
Mhm.
But yeah, I was talking to my husband about this. And because when I had the kids, both children, I kind of I did some Reiki in between, but it's like I've kind of feel like I disconnected from everything. And I felt kind of like I had, in a sense, lost that kind of purpose in my life,
Mm.
helping other people and also keeping myself grounded and connected. And when I'm not feeling grounded and connected, my husband and I were talking about it, it's like sometimes there's a part of me that feels like you can't see it. And a lot of it is in my mind's eye, and I experience energy in my own way and maybe different than other people. I don't know how other people experience it, but I'm like, man, is it real? How do I know? And then he was kind of prompting me and asking me questions. And you and I talked about this too. There's a part of me that's like, I met you 10 years ago
Mhm.
and I was in a very different place. Talked about this a lot, but very my inner dialogue. I didn't even realize it, but I just was really hard on myself. I was really angry, raging angry, really sad underneath all of that. I didn't think that I could do anything. I didn't feel like I was smart. I was just really hard on myself. And through meeting you and starting to take level 1 to,
Mhm.
3 master level, I started to feel better. Like a lot of stuff
Mhm.
came up for me, but I started to feel better and started to notice like numbers and kind of magic around me. And
Mhm.
during sessions with you, like what I would see in my mind's eye and the feelings that would lift, how I would feel from the start of a session to the end, like it was like I was a different a different person, like the knowledge that I had because I felt connected
Mm.
and I felt more like myself. That was always there. And the past healing, like healing some of my childhood
Mhm.
traumas, like during some of those sessions, there was a part of me that was always there for myself during my childhood. And like, I can't unknow that.
Mm. Mhm. The connections that it's sort of like Reiki can be this bridge between your like inner being and that traumatized self, right? Like it's like bringing that healing and connection. And it's like sometimes, very often, I'll have like epiphanies, like I'll make connections between things that feel obvious after the point, but I'd been struggling with them for weeks, right? I've been struggling with an issue, trying to use my brain to figure it out. And then I do 5 minutes of Reiki or receive a session from someone else. And it doesn't even need to be that long of a session. And the answer just pops right in, in that connection. And it's fascinating to me of like Reiki made you feel more like yourself. And that's such a fascinating thing to think about because it's like that raging, sad you wasn't you. That was the emotional state you were in because of all of the pain. And it's like there's this connection to this sort of deeper level of who you know yourself to be, or it's like you find yourself in some ways because all of the stuff covering over the true you gets lifted and you shift from the consciousness of the pain to the consciousness of the light inside. And when you're in that light inside consciousness, it's like Reiki's obvious. For me anyway,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, of course I feel it. Of course I see it. Of course I can connect with this energy. It's a tangible thing in my world that creates tangible results according to its own character and knowing it does its own work. And some of the shifts that, we see with other people as well is pretty profound. Like there's a point where even though it's not physically visible, at least not to most people, it creates results, you know? And what's really cool is that they're starting to do lots of studies in the in laboratories and these sort of controlled studies where they have people doing fake Reiki, or they call it fakie, and people's knee pain gets better. They have been doing Reiki on cancer cells in petri dishes, and the ones that have received energy, the cancer cells shrink. And the ones where people just pretended to do Reiki, nothing happened. So there's documented evidence, but then there's also the evidence of our own experience, which is people come in and like their energy is heavy, their eyes don't have a sparkle. They're just, you can feel the weight of the world on the person's shoulders. And they come in for a Reiki session and it's like they get their sparkle back, right? It's like you can see them in their world. And I think part of what's I love about Reiki is seeing that glow or that person finding themselves and living more from their soul energy and that light rather than from the shadow or the pain, which still gets to be there, right? Like Reiki doesn't shoo that stuff away. It's part of our experience, but any part of it that isn't helpful anymore can be lifted and cleared. Any part that's making things worse, so like the shame thoughts, can just be replaced with positive thoughts, And even now, after all this time, it's like I know it, I've seen it, I've experienced it, I witness it over and over and over again. And yet, every time I go in with a complete state of surrender, I think that makes it work better. When you let go completely of the outcome, you always hope that somebody's going to have a big change, but you can't force it to happen. As soon as you start forcing the energy, it doesn't work. It stops, actually. You have to let go. You have to surrender to the energy and guidance that's coming in. You can't push or pull the energy. You can't push or pull the experience. You just have to make space for it to happen. And when you do that and you're in this state of surrender and the energy is flowing, sometimes people have enormous shifts. So much so where my linear mind, my conscious mind is like struggling to figure it out. It's like somebody came in absolutely shattered. They receive Reiki and they're like, I feel good. I just feel like I need a nap. And I'm like, how does that happen? I know it happens. I've experienced it, but I'm always in this state of joy and awe and wonder every single time. It's like, it worked again. It worked again. So I'm sure you've seen that with people as well, like just all kinds of density, pain, heaviness.
It just keeps working. Something else I was thinking too is Reiki is becoming so popular
Hmm.
too, and a lot more well known. Like, I think not just Reiki, but like energy work, because I think more people are needing it. And I think that also creates, like, when something's more well known, more popular, there's also a lot more that people have to say about it. So I
Hmm.
think that sometimes, like, there is negativity around it as well, because you can't see it. And
Hmm.
like, people have their own maybe experiences where like, I heard this story once. There was like a couple who were married, and the wife started taking Reiki classes, and they ended the marriage. And from the husband's perspective, I think, like, he thought Reiki ended the marriage.
Hmm.
That was his feeling, because, well, that was the thing that he felt changed. And
Hmm.
so it was Reiki did it, instead
Hmm.
of kind of maybe looking a little deeper at what was happening. And maybe it wasn't Reiki that ended the marriage, but maybe she felt a little bit more confident in herself, or, who knows what it could have been. But then how many people would he have maybe said it was Reiki that did that? Like,
Right.
don't take Reiki, don't do Reiki, it's not evil or something?
Hmm. Yeah. Everybody has their own belief and understanding and connection with all that is. And, we're not here to replace or challenge any of that. But just knowing what we know about what we know, which is that it does create transformation, though. Is like, in some ways it's like he may not be wrong that Reiki did it, but it's this energy that's a catalyst in people's lives that can give people courage and strength and clarity on where their path is, right? Like there's a lot of times where we'll make choices from what's logical or what other people have told us is what we need to do. Or, we're sort of like, everybody says I'm good at this in my job, so I should just go and do that because I can. And then we follow external guidance and we end up in a space in life where we're not happy because we haven't followed our own knowing. And for me, I did that. I thought I was following my path, and my first career was in science, and it was interesting and entertaining, and maybe for a while it was my path that I was supposed to go that way. and got a master's degree in science. And in my job, I just felt like I was slowly dying. I felt like my soul was suffocating, and that level of pain couldn't be comforted by any thought or activity or trying to make the work I was doing better or trying to approach it with more joy. I switched companies. It still didn't change anything. Like, it was just the thing that I needed to do was to follow what my soul was calling me to do, which was Reiki and growth and transformation. I think I needed to get enough evidence to convince the skeptic in me that Reiki, while maybe unbelievable to the materialist worldview, was absolutely true for me. And absolutely, this was what I was supposed to be doing. And as soon as I gathered enough experience to kind of take care of my own skeptic, my own critic, the part in me that was saying, this isn't real. This isn't real. It's not documented. It's not peer reviewed in scientific studies. Like, this is bupkis. And I mean, it's valid, right? So I actually started making little science experiments, and I would, have my students fill out stress scales before and after, and after a while I just stopped doing that, stopped collecting the data, because there was so much information that no matter what was happening, even if it can't be explained currently by the current scientific understanding, there is something that's happening that is repeatable, it's reliable, it's dependable. Even if we don't understand it, the change that it brings in people's lives, the level of transformation to go from a place of like suffering to expansion, and in such a chronologically short time, in 1 to 8 sessions, one level one class, the the level of change that you can see in people that they see in themselves is astounding. And Reiki fills in this gap in care, which is the spiritual connection, spiritual wellness, and this energetic wellness. We're energy beings in physical bodies, and the energy body relationship and the emotional and physical connection between all of these different parts of us, Reiki helps in a way that other therapies can't reach or don't reach. And so it's sort of like I keep seeing people where they've tried everything, they've done all of the scans, they've done all the tests, and nothing's been working, or there's no diagnosis, but they still have symptoms. So then they try Reiki and they start feeling better. And it happens over and over and over again, right? It's like when you try everything worldly and nothing is shifting the state, then sometimes it's like, well, maybe it's because it's not a physical cause. So physical world things don't change it. Like another thing of vitamins isn't going to shift it. It's the energy, and then it creates, when the energy shifts, I feel like it creates a space that all of the other stuff we're doing, all the vitamins and all the other therapies start working better, because it doesn't have to flow over this energetic roadblock. Those blocks get cleared from people's paths, and then magic starts opening up. And I know that's happened for me. I know that's happened for you. And we see it over and over again. So there's a point where it's like you just have enough experience as a practitioner where you're like, I may as well believe it, because even if it's still a mystery, even after all this time of how it can work, how it works in every case, it just appears to. So, so
Yeah.
might
And
as
I
well
think there's
believe
like,
it.
absolutely. I think there's like also like a subtlety, like during a session, I feel this certain thing when I'm doing a Reiki session on somebody. I'll have my, say, hands on the chest and the stomach, because we're in a meditative state while we're doing Reiki in a sense. Like we're still moving around, but when I'm doing Reiki, I'm moving around the body, but I'm more following intuitively how I feel and knowing what we've spoken about, what my client's intention is. So I'm kind of moving toward the chakras that might need a little bit more help, or moving down to the feet if something needs to be cleared, coming up, opening the crown. Like I'm just going where I feel I need to go. And then sometimes I'll be like looking at my hands, and I've got my hands on the chest and the stomach. And then, when you close your eyes and like look up at the sun and close your eyes and you see
Mhm.
that kind of, it's like all the colors but black.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'll see that surrounding my hands, and I feel this specific, like that heat, that Reiki heat. And
Mhm.
then I'll just go along and do whatever else I'm doing in this session.
Mhm.
And so often someone will say, "Oh, it felt like your hands were still there, but I heard you like at my feet. And then I heard you at my head, but your hands were still there." And we call that the Reiki hands. And
Mhm.
I'd felt that too before. I'm like, those are like the subtle things that almost everybody mentions, that feeling. And it's a feeling I have in me. And it's this like knowing that there's help,
Mhm.
and I'm not doing it on my own. It feels like support during the sessions, and it feels like it's just a knowing. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Yeah. And I always like that feeling too that Reiki is beyond time and space. So the way I understand it is that it's like this quantum physics realm where everything is happening now. There's no time and space in quantum physics equations. And one of the themes of it is that it keeps on going for people after the session has stopped. So when those extra hands are there, it's like there's this reassurance as a practitioner of like, okay, like even though I know this person needs a lot of help, I know that Reiki's going with them and it'll keep flowing according to their own choice. And so that's really nice as well, because there's times where it's like what this person's in is so enormous and I feel as a human so small compared to the pain this person, the agony this person's in. And so that knowing that this support is there in the session, and then also that it's going to keep flowing and improving that person's life even if I never see them again. And that's so relieving. In some of the studies that have been done on Reiki and where they have the control group fakie, that's one of the key differences that people who have Reiki, they record the feeling of extra hands is almost the defining trait of getting a real session versus a fake session, which is kind of a helpful thing for people is like if you're feeling the extra set of hands, that's real Reiki. And if you're not, if you're going to a practitioner and you're like, I don't really feel that, you're like, yeah, maybe they're not trained, you know? And then also, many people will notice different colors or swirls of light or even the presence of like a bright light, like we move our hands over the person, not touching them. They'll say, like, it was like the light was shining in my face, but I know that the light didn't change in the room. All kinds of things. Sometimes people go on total journeys, like a mushroom trip or something. I know I've had that experience where you just get transported to another dimension of healing. Some people have strong connections with past loved ones. They'll feel the presence of their team. Other people just fall right asleep. They go into this like incredibly deep sleep and they come out of it and they're like, that felt like 8 hours, like, but you just kind of get whatever is needed. And for me, it's like, with this whole theme of Reiki being unbelievable, in some ways it is, but also like we don't have to believe it. You can just try it out. Collecting evidence is the best way. Collect your own data, run your own experiment, take a class, come in for a session. One of the most interesting things is distance Reiki, which we do here as well, virtual sessions where we are offset in time and space. The practitioner's in one location, the person receiving is in their home or wherever they are, and the session happens. And over again, we hear from people is like, you say that it can be even more powerful than in person, and I didn't believe you. And then I had the session, and now I believe you. And we believe in it so much that if people get a distance session or a virtual session and they don't like it or didn't feel like it worked for them, we'll just give you your money back. So no charge, no
I
questions
love that.
asked, because it creates a shift, it creates a change. And sometimes too, it's like sometimes people, I've got a few clients where they don't feel much in the session itself, but then when they go back into their life or they have a good night's sleep, they just feel fantastic for the week after. Like they'll notice this big boost or change in their energy that goes with them. And that's also seems to be something that they're seeing in studies as well. Like this one in particular on knee pain, the benefit or the pain reduction kept on going for 2 months after the study ended. So people kept on improving even though they weren't actively getting Reiki, which also defies our logic based on a materialist worldview. But if we start incorporating this idea that everything is energy, which is what quantum physics tells us, everything is energy, everything is thought, consciousness is the ground of our existence, and that conscious energy is awake and alive and it interacts with us with our thought and intention. And Reiki is like spiritual technology to help connect our consciousness to the consciousness of the universe and make a request for healing and then get out of the way because the universe knows what it's doing.
Yeah, I feel a good practitioner knows how to get out of the way.
Yeah, to surrender, and that it's not me. Like one of the things I tell people is like Reiki does Reiki. I don't do Reiki. Reiki does Reiki. I'm just holding space for Reiki to happen. I'm just like the conduit or the conductor of the orchestra, but I didn't write the music. I'm not making a sound. I'm just helping to guide the experience so it's smooth, so that's like comfortable, so people can relax into that universal frequency that they need. Because that universal frequency that they need was present for them before the session. The only thing I'm adding is helping them to make that connection and helping to strengthen that connection for them. So then they won't need me. They won't need us to do the Reiki. It just keeps on happening.
So beautiful.
Amazing. Amazing. So with all of that, like, I guess, how are you feeling now about Reiki being unbelievable, Melissa?
Oh, like it just like every time I talk to you, I always feel better
Mhm,
anyways. But yeah, it is a knowing.
mhm.
It's just a remembering. It's like having the conversation and being like, yeah,
Yeah,
of course. Like
yeah.
this is the best job in the world.
Mhm,
When I was talking about going back to work, once the kids went back into daycare, like this is the only thing I want to do. How could I do anything else? It's a joy to come into work. I feel better. I'm a better person. I feel like
mhm,
after doing a session, sometimes like it feels so unbelievable. Like I couldn't even explain to someone. My husband would be like, "Oh, how was work today?" or "How was your session?" I'm just like, it was unreal.
mhm.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
that
can't
is.
even tell you. Like it was like profound and simple and just exactly what they needed and exactly what I needed to hear today.
Yeah, it is. It's such a beautiful, remarkable, transportive experience that it is hard to explain even between practitioners, right? It's like, what just happened? It's like, and we know because we've had the experience. It's hard sometimes to explain it to people who haven't had the experience or not interested in the experience, And, I always feel like I don't have to convince everybody. I just need to convince my own inner skeptic. And once that's done, then, you know, everyone else can make their own choice and it's light. It's like people can believe whatever they want to believe. That doesn't matter. It matters what I think and feel about it. And for me, it's like the change is so remarkable for people. The change in my own life is remarkable. I agree with you. It's the best job. It's so cool because I feel like I get it to have a ringside seat to somebody else's miracle. I get to be next to and near a person when they receive a profound change. And I get to participate in some small way to create the conditions so that change can happen. But I can't make the change happen. It just happens. It defies our logic of how most other things happen. But for Reiki is all about surrender and getting into an egoless state, getting out of the way, which are all tools that we teach in the Reiki classes. So if people are interested in learning Reiki, we do have classes starting every season. So we have another batch coming up in the fall and in the winter, starting in January, springtime, summer. So check those out on the website. Melissa's also back doing sessions, as we have a number of practitioners here who are fantastic. So everyone here, Melissa included, I've trained personally and I go to them for Reiki. So sometimes people go on the wait list for me and they're like, don't wait to get Reiki. Like, Reiki is Reiki. Reiki does Reiki. And everybody here is phenomenal at it. And I'm super fussy about who I go to as a practitioner. So please just book in for the next available Reiki session. I think that's always the best is just get the care you need. Try it out, see how it works for you. One session is fantastic. Getting more than one session, we do have packages available, is even better because the energy does build on each successive session. So if you're working through something pretty big and heavy, like try a package of 3, come in for 3 Reiki sessions. They can be done in person at our Calgary center or virtually through the video call feature for a Jane app. And really, the energy is the same in person or by distance. You got to experience it to know it, right? So yeah, try that out. And there's also lots of resources on the website. So you can check that out at lunaholistic.com. But thank you so much for joining me today, Melissa. It's so lovely to chat with you as always.
I had such a nice time. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Until next time.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you for joining us on the Luna Holistic podcast. We're so grateful that you are here. If you've got a question, we'd love to hear from you. Go to lunaholistic.com/podcast and we'll answer you in an upcoming episode. Be sure to subscribe to our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And also please rate, because you never know where your little 5 stars will go to shine light into somebody's heart today. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.